Hi everyone and welcome to the Design Innovation Unit. We are thrilled to have you on board for this unit that we believe will empower you, not only by giving you new skills, but also because you will have the opportunity to experience a new mindset, an approach to innovation that can differentiate you in the marketplace and improve the results of your work. In this video, I will explain you in detail everything you need to know for this unit final assessment. So during each week lesson, we will explore a specific topic that makes part of the innovation process. But however, we will not only explain you the concepts or look for examples of application, but we will also challenge you to put this knowledge into practice through the preparation of your own design innovation project. We understand that takeaways and learnings of this unit can be leveraged if you are working in a field that best suits your professional or personal interests. And that's the reason why we decided to leave the topic for the final assessment completely open. You just have to make this decision early on, right in a first week lesson, where you will have to define a field of work that will be further used in every learning activity over the entire unit. Just be careful not to choose a field of work which is too broad, like, for example, health or energy or fashion. At the same time, try not to choose something too specific or too narrow, but instead come up with a topic which allows you to explore existing challenges and also to come up with innovative solutions that can be in the form of a product, a process, or even a service. For example, something like energy efficiency. This topic is perfect to allow you to explore the existing challenges and also to present new solutions for this work field. So the final assessment will consist in an individual portfolio that reports all the reflections and experiences performed during the learning activities that you will also share in discussion forum of the class in order to receive more feedback and improve that information. Be careful not to exceed the limit of 3,000 words. So next, I will talk about each part of the outline is the outline for this project. That starts with a cover page, and this is the easiest part of the project, where you just have to identify yourself and to name your project. Then we have the first real chapter of the project, which is the research and critical analysis of the context. And this is the chapter which has the biggest weight, biggest contribution for the final grading, because 30% of the final grading come from this first chapter. And this is the reason why we decided to have a learning activity which is exclusively dedicated to the preparation of this first chapter, which is the learning activity of week lesson number 13, where you will have time to present all the market indicators, existing challenges, and to name the stakeholders involved, organizations or individuals involved in this market. But also for this same chapter, you should include the information from learning activities of week lesson number 1, where you will present an example of an existing innovation. Week lesson number 2, where you will describe the profile of consumer culture or subculture. Week lesson number 4, where you will have to present an image gallery with the key trends in your work field. And week lesson number 5, where you will present an example of co-creation design. So wrapping up, this first chapter should include the information from learning activities of week lessons number 13, number 1, 2, 4, and 5. And all of this information together will give us an overview of the context of the field of work that will be used for this project. Next, we have a chapter dedicated to the design problem, and from now on, each chapter will have a weight of 10%, as you can see here on the top of the page. So this chapter will define a design problem related with your work field that should also be supported using some existing data, some existing literature that proves that this is really an existing challenge in the market. And this information will be prepared during week lesson number 6, has also the information for the next chapter, which is the ideation board, where you will make a board with all possible ideas that can solve that specific challenge. Let's now move on to the next chapter, which is the presentation of the selected idea, because during week lesson number 7, you will have to choose just one idea from the ideation board that you will have to communicate using a technique named storytelling. Also for this chapter, and in order to better describe your idea, you should also include the description of environmental and sustainable choices for each life cycle phase, which is an information that you will prepare in week lesson number 9. Next, we have a chapter dedicated to the product development plan, which is an activity that you will perform in week lesson number 8. We have also a chapter dedicated to the business-related information that will allow you to translate your idea into a business idea. And for this, we will need to know more about the supply chain. We will need to have the business model designed that you will prepare in week lesson number 11, and also information about a test made in week lesson number 12 that will validate at least one hypothesis made in your business model. And then you just have to summarize all of this information and to prove us that you have the 3 key elements for a successful innovation, which are the desirability, so you have a challenge that has and a solution that adds value to your specific market. You have also a feasible product, process, or service, something that can be real and people can take advantage of. And also you have a business strategy that confirms the viability of that idea in the marketplace. In these final remarks and conclusions, you should also include the further steps that you need to accomplish in order to bring this innovative idea into the marketplace. Finally, we have 2 other chapters that have a weight of 5% each, and where you will have space to introduce additional information to support your reflections and your data. And the last one is the bibliography, where you have to list all the references used for this project. And this is the outline for your final project. I will just make some considerations, additional considerations, and explain to you why I didn't mention 3 week lessons. So I didn't mention week lesson number 14, neither week lesson number 15, because in these 2 lessons, we will analyze existing technological trends that are affecting the field of design. And you can decide to integrate these technological trends into your innovative idea, but this is not mandatory. If you decided to do it, of course, you should include that information into in your project, in your final assessment, but it is completely optional. Also, I didn't mention the learning activity of week lesson number 3, because here you will analyze a specific market segment, the market segment of millennials. In case that you have a product, a process, or a service that is targeted for this specific market segment, of course, you are more than welcome to include this information to better describe your market, your potential customers or consumers. But this is optional because you can be working in an innovative solution that is not targeted at all for millennials. Try also to justify every comment or sentence based on existing literature. This is very important. Use bullet points where appropriate and avoid large chunks of unbroken text. And also try to make your portfolio as visual as possible, using photographs, product images, charts, and graphics, and others, whatever possible. We hope that you enjoy this unit, and if you have any doubt, please do not hesitate to contact the Tutor Center.